Welcome back, Buzzworthy Entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Michael Bazinski, and today we're kicking off a powerful 4-part series about the hidden forces that are silently sabotaging your marketing efforts. And trust me, this isn't just another fix your brand conversation. What I'm about to share has helped companies double their close rates in as little as 90 days by addressing something most businesses completely overlook. Identity is one of those things in business that everyone thinks they understand, but almost everyone gets wrong. Picture walking into any corporate office in America right now. You'll probably see their carefully crafted logo on the wall, maybe their mission statement elegantly displayed in the lobby, their brand colors meticulously chosen down to the exact Pantone shade. They've got their elevator pitch polished to perfection, and their website, well, it probably costs more than my first car. And there's nothing wrong with that. Really, there isn't. But here's where things get really interesting and expensive. All that stuff, the logos, the mission statements, the perfectly curated brand presence, that's just the reflection in the mirror. It's what businesses think they're showing the world. But what if I told you that while you're busy polishing that reflection, your potential clients are standing on the other side of the glass, seeing something completely different? Let me tell you a story that changed how I think about business identity forever. And no, I haven't changed the names to protect the innocent. I've changed them because this story is so common. It's been about dozens of firms I've worked for. Picture this, a boutique litigation firm. We'll call them Callahan and Associates. I'm sitting there in their gleaming downtown office tower. We're talking about the kind of place where the abstract art in the reception area probably costs more than my first 3 cars combined. Every surface screamed premium, from the hand-stitched leather chairs to the awards lining their walls. When I first met with their managing partner, Sarah, she walked me through their marketing materials like it was pride. You would see new parents showing off baby pictures. Their website, flawless is an understatement. We're talking sophisticated animations, case studies featuring 9-figure settlements, and an impressive roster of Harvard and Yale educated partners that would make any Ivy League alumni association jealous. On paper, they were doing everything right. They were the kind of firm that made other lawyers whisper, "I wish we looked as good as them." Shoot, they even had a waiting list of top-tier law school graduates begging to join their team. But here's where it gets interesting and expensive. Despite pumping more money into their marketing over the past 6 months, I'm talking upgraded website, enhanced LinkedIn presence, sponsored content, and all the right legal publications, their lead flow had dropped almost 40%. Even worse, the leads they were getting weren't the kind of complex, high-value cases they wanted to handle. Sarah was baffled. She told me that they were the best at what they did. So why weren't they attracting the right clients? That's when we did something that changed everything. Instead of looking at their reflection, how they saw themselves, we started looking through the window at their market and how they saw them. We began conducting exit interviews with prospects who met with the firm but chose to go somewhere else. And what we discovered was like finding a crack in a perfect mirror. You see, while Callahan and Associates was busy projecting an image of elite litigation expertise, their clients, who were mid-sized businesses facing company on the line litigation, they were looking for something entirely different. They weren't Fortune 500 companies with bottomless legal budgets. These were successful business owners facing what was possibly the most stressful moment in their company's history. And what they wanted wasn't just legal expertise. They wanted a partner who understood what it felt like to have their life's work hanging in the balance. Someone who could explain complex legal strategies in plain English. A firm that didn't just win cases, but help them sleep at night. In other words, Callahan had built their entire identity around who they thought they should be instead of who their ideal clients needed them to be. They were broadcasting on one frequency while their market was listening on another. This disconnect, it's not unique to law firms. I see it happen across every industry, every size of business. In fact, over the last 2 decades, I've discovered what I call the projection fallacy. And once you see it, you'll notice it everywhere. Think about it like a first date. You know, that person who shows up and spends the entire evening talking about their accomplishments, their credentials, their amazing life story. Meanwhile, their date is sitting there thinking, do they even care who I am? That's exactly what most businesses do with their marketing. They're on what I call the credentials carousel, constantly spinning around their own achievements, their awards, and their capabilities, while their potential clients are looking for someone who understands their challenges. Let me give you a quick exercise. If you're driving, just think about this. If you're at your desk, actually do it. Take out your company's latest marketing materials, whether it be your website, your pitch deck, whatever you use to tell your story to the world. Now, I want you to count how many times you use the word we, our, or us compared to you and your. Go ahead. Push pause if you need and do this right now, if you can. Interesting, isn't it? This simple ratio tells us something profound about how most businesses approach their identity in the market. Just like Callahan and Associates, they fall into what I call the projection trap, broadcasting who they are instead of reflecting who their clients need them to be.
Here's a buzzworthy insight.
Our research shows that this misalignment typically costs companies between 15 and 25% in lost revenue opportunities. But it's not just about the lost deals. It's about winning the wrong deals, which is actually worse. Let me share you another quick story. I was working with a software company last month that proudly proclaimed on their homepage, "We're industry leaders in AI-powered workflow automation solutions." Very impressive, right? But when we interviewed their most successful clients, you know what they were actually looking for? They weren't looking for industry leaders. They were looking for someone who could help them stop losing deals because their sales team was drowning in paperwork. Same product, completely different window. This self-focused marketing creates three major problems. One, the relevance gap. You're answering questions your marketing or your market isn't asking. Two, the trust gap. You're talking about yourself when you should be talking about their challenges. And three, the value gap. You're promoting features when you should be addressing their fears and aspirations. And just like Sarah at Callahan and Associates discovered, all the Harvard credentials in the world don't matter if your clients are looking for a good night's sleep. So, how do we fix this? Well, it starts by understanding the fundamental difference between a mirror and a window. Think about it like this. Every morning, we all look in the mirror to make sure we're presenting ourselves the way we want to be seen. Makes sense, right? But most companies treat their marketing exactly like that mirror. They're constantly checking and adjusting their reflection, making sure they look exactly how they want to look. But here's the thing, and this is something that Sarah learned the hard way. Your prospects aren't looking in a mirror. They're looking through a window. And what they see through that window isn't just about you. It's about how you fit into their world, their challenges, their aspirations. A few years back, I worked with a cybersecurity firm that was absolutely obsessed with their image. Their website was a masterpiece of modern design, dark mode interface, neon accents, very Mr. Robot, very cyber. Their marketing materials read like a thriller novel about digital threats. They looked exactly how they thought a cutting edge cybersecurity firm should look. But when we actually talked to their most successful clients, you know what those clients valued most? Not the high tech image, not the sophisticated jargon. They valued how this firm made them feel safe enough to sleep at night. These clients, mostly mid-sized business owners, didn't want a cybersecurity hero. They wanted a trusted guardian who could explain complex threats in a simple terms and give them peace of mind. This is what I call the window effect. When your potential clients look at your business, they're not seeing what you see in the mirror. They're looking through a window, asking three fundamental questions. One, do you understand my world? Two, can you solve my specific problems? And three, will working with you make my life better? And here's where the expensive disconnect happens. While you're busy polishing your reflection, updating your logo, refining your mission statement, perfecting your elevator pitch, your potential clients are on the other side of the glass, cupping their hands around their eyes, trying to see if you understand their world. Think about the last time you hired a professional services firm or bought enterprise software or chose a marketing agency. Did you choose them because they told you how great they were? Or did you choose them because they showed you they understood your challenges, your fears, and your hopes? This disconnect between how you see yourself and how your market sees you isn't just costing you deals, it's costing you the right deals. It's like having a dating profile that attracts all the wrong matches because you're presenting an image of who you think you should be rather than connecting with who your ideal partner needs you to be. But here's the good news. Once you understand this mirror window dynamic, you can transform how your market sees you. In my experience, this transformation isn't about changing who you are. It's about changing how you communicate who you are in terms of what matters to your market. Now, let's make this practical because theory without action is just entertainment, right? I'm going to walk you through what I call the identity alignment exercise. So grab your phone or a piece of paper because I want you to actually do this with me. If you're driving, just make a mental note and come back to this part later. It's that important. Let's start with something I call the we-you ratio. Think about a first-time prospect coming to your website or reading your marketing materials. What's the first thing they see? For most businesses, it's something like, we are industry leaders in ... or our innovation approaches ... or my personal favorite, we have X years of combined experience ... Here's a real world example that transformed a client's business. I was working with a financial advisory firm that was struggling to attract high net worth clients. Their homepage started with, we have over 50 years of combined experience managing wealth. Impressive, right? But when we interviewed their most successful clients, none of them mentioned experience as their reason for choosing them. Instead, they all talked about how the firm helped them sleep better at night, knowing their children's future was secure. See the disconnect? The firm was looking in the mirror. Look how experienced we are. But the real ideal clients were looking through the window asking, can you help me protect my family's future? So we already did the we versus you exercise with your website. That might have been a little painful, but hey, now you know. Now I want you to do the same exercise with your LinkedIn profile, your last three proposals, whatever marketing materials you use most often. Remember to count two things: how many sentences start with we, our, or us, and how many sentences focus on your client's challenges, hopes, or needs. The ratio you're looking for, it should be at least 70-30 in the favor of your client. But I bet most of you, it's the other way around. But don't worry, you're not alone. When we did this exercise with Callahan and Associates, they were a 90-10 focused on themselves. Now let's take this a step further. Look at the last three deals you won. What did those clients say was their reason they chose you? I'm willing to bet it wasn't your years of experience or your impressive client list. It was probably something much more personal. something about how you made them feel understood, secure, or confident. This brings us to your immediate action steps. The first thing I want you to do is look at your core marketing message. And if it doesn't pass the we versus you ratio test, rewrite it with your client's biggest challenge or aspiration, if you need, at the forefront. Then look at your outward facing marketing materials and try to replace everything we are statements with a you can promise. Once you have those two steps done, it's time to test your new messaging with your 3 best clients and ask for their honest opinion. I hope this exercise is helpful. I've used it many, many times and it never fails to deliver great results. But here's the thing, this is just scratching the surface. What you say about yourself is only part of the equation. In our next episode, we're going to dive into the 3 hidden layers of business identity that determine whether your market trusts you or ignores you. You'll discover why even the most polished brands can fail to connect, and I'll show you exactly how to avoid that expensive mistake. Until then, I am Buzz, reminding you that being boring, it's a choice. So stay buzzworthy.